From the same guy that gave us The Exorcist, that would be William Friedkin, if I pronounced that correctly, comes the 1990 film about a cult that worships trees and a killer tree called The Guardian, the same film that Sam Raimi actually turned down at one point, and it went to Friedkin. And it's basically, like I said, it's a movie that follows, and the glare is terrible in this. It's a film that follows like this one woman, and she's part of this like cult, I guess you could say, and they really worship nature and they worship trees. So every so often they have to sacrifice babies to the trees, and one big scary tree in this film in particular. And when the movie opens up, we see this couple, and they're getting ready to go for an anniversary, birthday, something like that, and they're leaving their older son, and they're leaving a little baby with this babysitter for the weekend or the evening or however it is. And pretty soon after they leave, you know, the mom forgets her glasses. She comes back, and we find out that the baby's gone. And we see that the babysitter has actually taken the baby and sacrifices it in a very unusual but effectsy way to the big, giant, scary tree that's real close to the house. So after that, we fast forward a few years later, and you got this one dude. He's got a new job. He's from Chicago, but he's moving here, and he's got the job, and his wife's with him, and she's pregnant, so they have a baby, so they need a babysitter. And they end up getting the very same babysitter from the start of the film, or at least that's who we're pretty sure it is. And, you know, they love her. She's friendly. The kid seems to dig her. And little do they know that the woman seems to have a plan that in a couple of weeks or whatever, when the baby's cells are changing over, when the baby is pure, she's planning to sacrifice it to the very same tree. So we have to watch as, you know, we hope they can catch the hint and save the baby before the baby has the same fate as the child early in the film. Now, this is an odd one. This is one that isn't going to be for everybody, and it's silly. It is a very silly movie. It's a very strange movie. There's one scene where this babysitter's kind of like stalked, you know, with the kid, and you really think it's about to turn into an I Spit on Your Grave sequel, and she runs to her good old friend the tree, and I won't spoil what happens, but some of the best gore, it's brief, but it happens with this scene because the tree does more than just, you know, sit there. And apparently the same woman has the ability to, you know, call on coyotes and stuff for her advantage as well. It is a very odd movie, a very strange movie. I don't know if everybody's going to like it. I mean, it's a little bit odd. It's an acquired taste, a little bit of a key lime pie of a film, if I do say so myself. I enjoyed it enough, though. I thought it was interesting, and it's actually got some pretty good suspense, especially when, you know, people are finally starting to get clued into what's going on and try to do something about it. Now, of course, you'll have to watch to see if they are able to avoid the fate of the baby at the start of the film or not. Nonetheless, this is available, I think it came out Tuesday, from Scream Factory, but my original copy was not sent to me, and then my other copy was lost, so this one was late getting to me, under no fault of all of the fine PR people that I talked to at Shout Factory, but maybe more or less of a mail person problem, because they did manage to give me this, if you can see this, and break my case, which upsets me greatly. And if the mail lady wasn't attractive as she is, I would feel the need to hit her with a stone cold stunner from time to time, but you know, what else? What can you do? Here it is, The Guardian. Looks good. And you know, I say it looks good, it looks pretty good. But you ever notice how Universal moves, and this is leased from Universal, I guess they got it in their Universal deal, obviously. Universal HD transfers seem to have the same look to them in a way, like it's good, and there's like a real bright look at all, you know, to them. In some spots, like, I don't know, this is bright. Like, go look at the Universal Army of Darkness Blu-ray, and you notice how it looks. It's kind of like most of their stuff kind of looks that way, in a way, you know, if that makes sense. Maybe some of you know what I'm talking about, but nonetheless, it looks good enough. It's a good-looking disc. It's got a lot of extras, which maybe if the film wasn't so infamous as being kind of bad, maybe they would have, you know, did a collector's edition, because they got a lot of extras on here. They've got new interviews with the actor Dwyer Brown, Gary Swanson, makeup effects artist Matthew Bungle, interviews with William Friedkin. I still don't know why I can't pronounce him. One of the greatest directors, directed one of the greatest horror movies ever, and I can't pronounce his name. Jenny Seagrove and co-writer Stephen Volk, and a theatrical trailer. That's some pretty cool stuff, man. You know, and the movie is pretty good. Now, I know I used to see this box this cover at the old VHS video store back in the early 90s. Never did rent it, but there's some cool stuff here. I think if I was a kid, it probably would freak me out a little bit, but now it just kind of makes me laugh more or less. So proceed with caution, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look for The Exorcist with this. But if you want something maybe that's for better or worse, so bad it's good, you can give The Guardian a watch. If not, I can kind of understand why you might skip it. But there it is, available last Tuesday. The disc is actually in my PS4, so I can't show you what that looks like, but beating up the mic. There you go. So that's available right now from Scream Factory, The Guardian, from 1990.